Hello, welcome to this edition of Beyond the Politics, a regular examination of the events happening right here in the Quinte region and the people who work so hard behind the scenes to make it all happen. I'm your host, Paul Martin. Joining me, the newly minted President and CEO of Loyalist College, Mark Kirkpatrick.
Hi, nice to be here, thank you.
So many things happening. First of all, let's talk about what just happened in terms of taking over the position. Now, we'll talk about your background with the college, and you've been there for quite some time in quite a few different roles, and I think that is a really big plus to sort of the experience you've had taking over this position. But talk about just the transition. How did it happen? How recent is it? And what was that like?
So I officially became president March 1st, so not that long ago actually, but back in August I became acting president. Mm-hmm. And if you know the cycle of a college, becoming a new president in August comes with a lot of challenges with September within 30 days of brewing. So I think I had the opportunity to jump right into the deep end and really start to understand what it was to be president back in August and getting the college up and running in September. So it was an interesting process, and I am quite happy, of course, with the results of now being the new president of Loyalist College.
So what made this the right move for you? Because of course, someone with your extensive experience could apply to all kinds of other roles, and it's very common, of course, to move between colleges. What made this the time to step in as the head at Loyalist?
You know, you get the opportunity to reflect when these opportunities, come your way, and I really believe Loyalist is a special place. I think it really is a special place, and it's very different than almost any of the other post-secondary institutions that we have across the province. And the fact that we have our values, the fact that we care about our community, the fact that we care so much about our students and our businesses, and it really aligned with what I wanted and what I believe to be something that can create an impact. You don't get the opportunity to work for an organization that often that has the ability to create such an impact on the community that exists in. So, when you think through all that and you look at the experiences that you've had throughout the college, and I've been fortunate to run an awful lot of departments and divisions within the institution, you really get your head around the fact that this is something I want to do, and then you feel like, okay, this is something I can do, and you put your name in the hat. And so I was. It took me a bit to get there, and I think the biggest thing for me was it wasn't so much that I wanted to be the president of a college. I wanted to be the president of this college. Mm-hmm. This is the place that we've been. My family and I grew up here. 15 years. My kids grew up here. We're very ingrained in the community, and so we have no desire to go anywhere. This is the community we want to live in and support, and this really was an opportunity for me just to take it to another level.
How different is it to sit in the big chair as opposed to in charge of a particular department? I mean, you were also chief financial officer.
I was.
So you basically had a hand in everything that goes on because, of course, finance is stretching into everything. But still, it's got to be different when you actually sit in that big chair for the first time.
It is. I think the biggest thing for me was understanding there wasn't another boss. I mean, yes, I do have the board of directors, and we do work really closely with our board and our board chair. But understanding that it's now you. You're the one that's making that decision. It stops and ends with you. There's nobody behind you, and it sounds small, but it is a big mental adjustment when you kind of sit in that chair.
What was you talked about your reaction? What was the reaction from everyone else? So within the college community, how has the transition been? Especially, and we're going to talk a little bit more later, but going from your predecessor to you as acting president and then being instilled in the formal role.
Well, first of all, I've worked for two presidents at the college, Maureen Piercy and Dr. Anne-Marie Vaughan, both of whom I have a great deal of respect for. And so just even being offered the job was actually rather humbling. Learning, taking over from people I knew very well and the work they'd done in the past. But the reaction in the college, I mean, like I said, I've been there 18 years this August. I've gotten to know the people. It was very warm. Everybody was very supportive. Again, it was a rather humbling experience. But not just from the people there. I've had lots of support from the community and across the college sector. So it's actually been wonderful.
Another event that's going to be coming up, involving some slightly younger students, but bright, aspiring minds who do incredible research themselves, and that's the Science and Technology Fair that's coming up this month. So how great is it to have that event coming back to Loyalist now? And what is it like to see these young minds at work?
I don't know. we want to do more work with high schools, and we have been doing some more work, but to actually come back to a science fair, to the post-secondary institution here we have here in Belleville, it's kind of like it's where it belongs, right? You know, we've got many people at our institution that are very excited, not just to see the students, but to see what they come up with. I'm personally a bit of a science geek, so I mean, I think it'll be just fascinating to see what people come up with. And I am continuously astounded by just how smart some of these folks are and the ideas that they come up with. So it's actually a very humbling thing when you look at, my goodness, they're in grade what and they did this. But it's wonderful to see just the energy and the capacity in this region.
And some of them go on. I mean, we've had students who place locally. Of course, we have winners. They then go on to the National Science Fair, who have taken home top prizes, like thousands and thousands of dollars of scholarships can come out of this process. So how encouraging is it to see that step being taken there? And what do you think it adds for the students to sort of be experiencing that at a post-secondary educational institution?
Well, I think it's great that they get to see the next step in their education journey. So I think anytime you can take a high school person and put them into a position where they can see their next step is wonderful. But, you know, and I'm going to just tie it back to our discussion earlier today about small and big things. But it's another example where it's okay to be small, and people that are in small communities do big things. They win science fairs. And we shouldn't discount just the incredible capabilities that exist here.
Now let's go into that's some of the activities. Let's go into some of the facilities, because there's been a lot of development. We talked about it before, and beyond the nuts and bolts of things like residences and housing, there are the things that people enjoy, and there are things that people might not even know that are there. And let's talk about the market first. So there was a major advancement in terms of sort of modernizing that and sort of repackaging it, and then being something that people from the outside community can also enjoy that they haven't had the chance to do before. So I've had people who've walked through it and they say it's phenomenal, and the people there are so knowledgeable, but I think it's better if it comes from you.
So yeah, one of the many things we've opened up this year is a new market, and it's actually tied to our new culinary renovation that we've done too, with the new bake lab and lab, as well as a chocolate factory, or a chocolate lab, and actually the ice cream maker's on the way. But the concept is really the students spend all week creating food. So we don't want it to go to waste, and some of it's dessert, some of it's frozen food for dinners and whatnot. And so we actually put it all up in the market for sale on Thursdays and Fridays. We probably quadrupled the space of the market, thinking, okay, that'll avoid the lineups in the halls and everything else that we were doing. We opened it up to the public, and the lines are now even longer than they were before.
So the word's out.
The word is out. I mean, you can't get a healthier, better meal for the price point that we're selling them at. The desserts are phenomenal. They're fresh. Our chefs are up first thing in the morning. I think they must be showing off a little bit, because they've got all their new ovens and bakeware that they've got at their disposal now, and it's just a phenomenal showcase for what our culinary students do. And the thing that people don't remember is this is only phase one of a multi-phase culinary expansion at the college. So, you know, it's moving well, and it's very popular.
And this is a growth area. I mean, there's always going to be a demand for this, but it seems like, and I don't know if it's because of cooking shows or the things that are going on, or people are becoming more aware of the culinary experience as a whole, that there's more inquiries, there's more demand. Do you find that from an application and also an interest standpoint within the college?
Well, I think our culinary facilities, to be honest, got a little dated. And so I think what we needed to do was actually upgrade them to the point where they actually align with the talent of our staff. Okay, we have phenomenal faculty in our culinary program, and now we're giving them the tools to actually you know, really work and train the students that come in. So yeah, our intake's going up, the quality of the student is going up. It's just good all around. And you know, right beside that new bake lab I was just talking about is we've just started a renovation on the new restaurant. So we're replacing Resto with a new restaurant that hopefully will be open this fall. It'll be about twice the seating as the previous one, and we'll hopefully elevate it up for the public to come in and really enjoy not just the market, but now a sit-down meal as well.
Okay, great. Talk about the stadium. So there are also some other big projects that will facilitate other things. So where is that at this point?
So I'm assuming you're talking about the new gym and the inside.
Yes.
Yeah. So So I'll just digress. So outside, we've actually created a bit more of a stadium too. So if you drive on campus, you'll see a whole bunch of new bleacher seats and a professional level media box that's on our varsity field. We've actually just finished and waiting for the spring to come and our grass to grow again, and we'll have a secondary, a CFL size field as well outside. But inside, yeah, we're working to update all of our sport and varsity facilities. So we opened this January our new varsity change rooms and therapy center. And then we hope to break ground right after convocation on a new gymnasium that will probably be close to 50% larger than the current one. It will seat for convocation over 1,500 people. It will be a sight to behold, and it will totally change the whole front of the college because it will be moved to the front. And so the whole front of the college essentially is getting ripped off this summer, and we will be putting on first-class gymnasium.
One of the things that is added, and you mentioned before the break, and I just wanted to throw in here, but moving forward, is the new nursing bursary program.
Yeah.
So I mean, Belleville expanded its program to provide these nursing bursaries for the first time. How great is it to be on the front end of that and sort of helping provide a background for these healthcare professionals?
I think the thing that we've learned, and hopefully people understand this, is where people go to school tends to be where they stay. So before we had the ability to do a 4-year program, people would do 2 years here in Belleville, and then they would go to St. Catharines and do the next 2 years. Very few came back. And so when you talk to Stacey Dobb at QHC, she goes, "Where's all the nurses?" And so, getting the ability to do a full 4 years here in Belleville, and then secondly, having the city support, a study and stay program, I think is just, over time going to pay immense benefit to this region, and making sure that, some of the staffing challenges that we have over time, we've got a plan to do some of that fix.
Last 30 seconds, what is the message you would like to get out as the new president of Loyalist College to people in the community about what Loyalist is and will be?
I think what you need to understand is we want to be here for everybody. We're not just an institution in Belleville and other locations for our students. We're here to support the community. We want to be part of the community. We want to sponsor your programs. We want to be participate in what's going on in this community, and we want to make it easier for businesses to do business with us. We're a rather large place, and sometimes it's a little tough. This is easier. We want to make it a lot easier.
Well, I want to thank you, Mark. Congratulations on your new job at Loyalist, and we look forward to all the great things to come. This has been Beyond the Politics.